Your biggest enemy is you. What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another video. I was talking with a client today, actually talking with a couple of clients this week, and some guys are facing different issues. Some guys lost their jobs. Some guys are battling other issues. Everybody's always battling, right? Behind closed doors. Even if in the public it looks like everything is okay. What I found is that everybody's always battling something. Whether they're in a position that's, perceived as being of great grandeur, right? They have everything going for themselves, or whether it's just the average common man, right? Or the person that's all the way at the bottom. On every level, everybody is always battling or fighting. Now, I was talking with my clients on our call today, and the common theme that came up, right? Because I asked the question of, are you living from the frequency of your best self? And what I meant from this question is, you have two men. They could be taking the same action. But one guy is going to succeed. One guy, it just happens for him. Things just seem to fall into his lap. Things always go well for him. Whereas the other guy, he could be trying so much, trying to do everything. And it seems like on the outside, he just doesn't have it. Right? Now, what's the difference? One guy actually believes that he can do said tasks. He walks with that conviction. He walks like the best version of himself. He talks like the best version of himself. He is the best version of himself. And the other man is too caught up with self-imposter syndrome, of worrying about what other people think, of self-doubt and self-sabotage, and thinking about, is this going to last? You see, you cannot outperform your paradigm. What I mean is your subconscious mind and how you view yourself, your self-image. Everybody watching this video knows one thing right now that they should be doing to improve your life. You know what it is. I'll be candid. I had a talk with myself this morning. I was at the gym. And I like to have certain dialogues, or technically monologue, with myself because I'm a little bit crazy. I'm a maniac. I've been open with that. I'm really unhinged. Talk to myself every day. I galvanize myself. I push myself. I'm not saying what I do is healthy. I'm just letting you guys know I'm going to keep it a being with you. And I had just got done doing upper chest, and I was sitting down and I grabbed my stomach, and I'm in excellent shape. I'm in above average shape, in better shape than most men. But I'm not in elite shape. And I just had an honest conversation with myself. I said, Dud, you're a bitch. You know you have the capacity to be fucking shredded. When I'm really dialed in with my nutrition and my training, I look like a freaking specimen. I look crazy. But I'm just above average right now in that department. And so I said to myself, Dud, you know what you gotta do to get in that type of elite shape. You know what you gotta do to have the veins coming through the abs. You know what you gotta do. You're in great shape. You train consistently. You look good. People compliment you all the time. But deep down, you know you're not maximizing. And this is what I call the knowing doing gap. I learned this concept from Bob Proctor, who spoke about we can know what we need to do, right? We know what we got to do, but we're not doing it. And that's the disconnect. And so you are your biggest enemy. You know what you got to do, but you're not doing it. So what I did today was I made a verbal commitment to myself, an oath. When I make verbal commitments to myself, I always see it through, because if I break my own word to myself, I'm not a man, and I can't respect myself. And if I can't respect myself, I can't lead. And I take that very seriously. So whenever I want to back myself in the corner, I just say it verbally, like, I'm going to be shredded. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So this is some of the little psychological games that I play with myself. I like to play little twisted games with myself. If I don't get this pull up, my whole family dies. If I don't get this task done by this day, my family dies. And so whatever you have to do to frame something in order for you to do it, whether it's like me and you have to make a verbal oath to yourself, like saying, I'm going to do this by this date. Otherwise, I don't respect myself, and I'm not worthy of breath. You got to be that extreme with yourself. At least that's what works for me. And so I was talking to my clients on our call. Some guys are struggling with consistency, with discipline. Some guys are battling with imposter syndrome because they're in an elevated position in their job. It's new to them. The money is new to them, and they are operating from lack. And they think that, what if I lose that money, or what if I do this? Other guys need help with certain infrastructure and systems. Everybody's battling with something, right? But on the outside looking in, everybody looks like it's okay. And so as men, it's important that we have these candid conversations, right? As I always say, I'm a man of practicality. You know what area of your life or areas of your life right now that you're just getting by, that you're not maximizing, that you're not giving your all. You may be doing okay for yourself. And that's what is so difficult about this. You may be doing okay for yourself. You might be making great money right now. You're making a couple 6 figures. You might be tall. You might be handsome. You might have a lot of things going for yourself. You're charismatic. People are naturally drawn to you. You're an ambitious man, but you lack direction. You might even have some direction, but you're not 100% congruent. And this is why it is such a big gap between the good people and the greats. That's why. The difference between good, the difference between above average and elite is so astronomical that I don't think the average person can truly comprehend. To truly become elite, you're going to have to do an internal audit and shift of your life. That's the truth. You might have to eat differently. You might have to walk differently. You might have to sleep differently. You might have to wipe your ass differently. You might have to use some different paper to wipe your ass. When you're talking about truly aggrandizing yourself to be the elite of the elite version of yourself, a true Renaissance man, it's not easy. But you know what it is? It is simple. And why is it simple? The disconnect between why you are not doing what you know you have to do, even though you're so ambitious, even though you watch all these motivational videos and you get charged up and you work hard and you train and you try to fortify all areas of your life. You are an above average man. You are an outlier, and you've always felt special. You've always felt like it was you that was going to save your family. It was you that was great. Even with all of that, the reason why you're still not elite is because there's one reason right here. And that reason is you haven't made a decision to be elite. What do I mean? You haven't made a definite decision to go all in that version of yourself. How do I know? Because if you were truly walking in alignment with the ultimate version of yourself, you would be shredded already, no exceptions. No exceptions. You would be doing that task that you've been procrastinating, no exceptions. You would be reaching out to the people that you need to reach out to and put yourself around, no exceptions. You'd be making the money or getting there or on the way, no exceptions. You would be disciplined and diligent to your calendar and schedule, no exceptions. And this is the hard truth that a lot of guys, they just don't want to accept. I've accepted when I'm being a little bitch in certain areas of my life. And every time that I've ever seen a quantum leap is when I made that decision to go all in, all of me, every fiber and atom down to the nucleus of myself invested in the mission. And that road is lonely. But you know what else is lonely? It's lonely when nobody can help you because nobody around you is in position to help you. So I would rather you can choose which lonely you want. The loneliness of feeling like, damn, like I had something inside of me. I was an outlier. I was an ambitious man, but I didn't go all in on myself. I kept on letting myself, take me down. And now I'm in a position to shit. I might be 50 and I'm broke, I'm unhappy, unsatisfied, and nobody in a position to help me. Nobody can really give me the steps. Nobody can give me the game at this age. Nobody can help me out. You got to be your own savior. You know what you got to do. You're your biggest enemy. I was my biggest enemy. I told you guys my self-confidence was all the way down. I couldn't speak without stuttering. I had to stutter. I got joked on about it. And so that fucked up my whole view of life, I was so timid. Because anytime I spoke, I had fear of stumbling over a word and people laughing at me. This permeated into my career. I fucked up so many contracts and bags. I messed up so much money because I got on calls and I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. And so I fumbled. Companies overlooked me. Opportunities passed me because I wasn't communicating effectively. And so I had to make a decision. And one day, because I remember this one day, I wrote this in my book, Escaping Thyself, which, by the way, it's free if you want it. I'll figure something out. Go on my Instagram and I have some posts and comment whatever that post says. I'll send you the book free. But there was this one opportunity that I had, and I'll just go ahead and say it. It was with this company, Tasty, a pretty prominent company. And at the time, I had a health and wellness channel, and I used to cook different recipes, and I had recipe ebooks, and they wanted to fly me out to LA for a commercial, right? This was before I did my commercial with Manscaped. And I was getting opportunities to work in Hollywood and do commercial with big brands and stuff. So I would fly back to LA and San Diego. And I remember I was so excited for this opportunity because they were going to pay the boy. They were going to pay me some good money. You feel me? Like they were going to pay me decently for this series. And I got the phone call and I was so nervous because I was like, I stuttered my whole life. I don't think you guys understand how bad my speech used to be. So let me paint the picture for you. I stuttered my whole fucking life. My entire life, I couldn't speak. So the fact that I'm an orator now, a public speaker, a mentor to men from all over the world is an anomaly. But you know why? It's because I made a fucking decision. I stopped being my biggest enemy. So anyway, back to the story. So boom, I'm expecting this call from Tasty, and it's their staff, and it's like 4 people. And we had booked out the call. I believe it was like 5-6 days out. So the whole week I'm living with angst, and I'm thinking about the call because like this is a big deal. And I'm thinking about one thing: don't fucking stutter on the call, please, Dudley. Don't stutter. So boom, the call comes around, and I remember this like yesterday. It was Thursday, and the call was at 2 p.m. I had thought about it all week. I was so fucking nervous, right? Because I couldn't even make phone calls at that time, right? Like I couldn't speak. I had no confidence. The call came around. Ring, ring. I let it ring. I was nervous. Ring, ring. Hello? Hi, Dudley. Yeah, this is so-and-so from Tasty, and is now still a good time? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. So, and we started talking, and they started asking me introspective questions about myself, and I was like, I fucked up that deal, missed out on thousands of dollars. I fucking tortured myself for a couple years after that deal fell through the cracks due to my incompetency, due to my lack of decisiveness. Oh my gosh, I beat myself up mentally. And that's when I fell into mental purgatory. And this is why you guys see me make videos about mental purgatory, because I know that if I went through it, surely there has to be other men that have gone through it. Now, it may not be because they suffered from a speech impediment like me, but there's many different realms of mental purgatory, right? A man that's self-sabotaging due to whatever. I understand that world in reality because I lived in it. It was in that moment, right? I said, no fucking more, Dudley. You are not going to allow this speech impediment to hinder you from being the best version of yourself. So not only did I work on my communication, and I still work on my communication, I said, fuck it, I'm going to become a polyglot. And so I started learning multiple languages, and now I speak multiple languages. All because I made a decision and I stopped being my biggest enemy. That was just one small example. I've got hundreds. All that to say this, brother. You know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. How are you going to bridge that gap? You got to decide today. If you really want what you say you want, just please be honest with yourself. Please be honest with yourself. Most of you guys, you don't really want what you say that you want. How do I know? Because you wouldn't be self-sabotaging. You see, human beings, we're afraid to achieve everything that we say that we want. Why are we so afraid to achieve it? Because we like to live in fantasy. It's okay to think about it, to fantasize about you having the Lambo, to fantasize about you buying your mom a house. But when it comes down to being in the trenches and taking those actions and disciplining and aligning yourself like the man that you need to become to attract that, it's hard. And human beings, we like to fall back to comfort. Everybody lives in their comfort zone. The same routine, the way that you think, the people that you talk to, you go to the same places, the same stores. It's routine. It's comfortable. What I was doing when I was learning all these languages and throwing myself in different societies and different countries all around the world by myself was I was breaking myself, buck breaking myself out of timidity and passivity. I said, fuck it, bitch ass nigga. We gonna throw your ass in a village in Italy. Go learn Italian, fuck nigga. Throw my bitch ass in Colombia. Go learn Spanish and go learn how to talk to people and socialize with people. And I started cultivating a certain prowess of speaking and persuasion, being charming. This started helping me out with women, cultivating friendships, learning how to galvanize and polarize. And I started to build myself into a Renaissance man. The etymology of the word Renaissance means rebirth, revitalize. This is why you guys always hear me talk about the Renaissance man. Now you guys have a better understanding of why I've structured this channel, why I've structured my program, why I talk the way I talk, why I live the way that I live. I live what I say. That's the thing. There's a whole story behind every method that I've ever presented to you guys. You're going to have to rebirth yourself, brother. You are, without a shadow of a doubt, your biggest enemy.
Perfect.